Okay, cool. Welcome, everyone. So I am with Tiffany Nightingale and my brother Joe, two mega Gabriel Method success stories, and a really cool story on top of it. Tiffany is a mother of five. She's a soul supporting mother of five who lost 88 pounds about 7 years ago with the help of the Gabriel Method. And about 4 years ago, she and I became friends, and she got to know my brother, and she started working with my brother, doing her therapy and also just being who she is. She's also a Gabriel Method coach now, and so she's did some coaching with my brother over the last couple of years, and he has lost over 200 pounds. And I'm just going to show you some images here. So here's Tiffany. You can see where she was 7 years ago before she lost the 88 pounds. Guys, can you see those images? That image of Tiffany there?
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. So there's Tiffany. You can see how massive transformation. And again, that was somewhere between 5 and 7 years ago. She has kept the weight off. She is in amazing shape. And as I said, she is now a Gabriel Method coach, practicing a really powerful type of emotional therapy. And I'll just show you a picture of my brother also. This amazing transformation, over 200-pound transformation. And here's Joe. You can see Joe before he was well over 400 pounds. And now he is lean and mean and just amazing. And it's all very sustainable. Each time I talk to him, he's looking thinner and fitter. And it's just really amazing. So it's an amazing story. And both Tiffany and my brother Joe are going to be at Omega this year. So we have our 5-day Omega retreat. Is going to be August 5th to 10th this year. Both Tiffany and Joe are going to be there telling their stories and working through explaining some of their processes. I just want to start first with you, Tiffany. First of all, congratulations, and thank you so much for your help as a Gabriel Method coach, and also personally with my own brother. And I also understand that your mother is now losing weight. Is that right? She's thinner than she's been in decades. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's incredible to watch the weight just falling off her now too.
So can you tell us just real quickly a little bit about your story back? If you can go back, what was it, 5 or 7 years ago? You've got 5 kids, all under the age of 5. You're a single mother, and you're struggling with weight. Can you tell us what that was like and what happened?
Yeah, absolutely. So I had been on a weight loss journey, and I had lost a lot of weight, but then I had a twin pregnancy, and the weight was coming back with interest in the way that you always teach.
Yeah.
So I knew that I needed to find something that would be sustainable. And finally I came across your book, and I started on your evening visualization, and that was the beginning of the rest of my life, to be truthful.
And over a 1 year period or so, you lost 88 pounds. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. I had to attend to some safety issues and some emotional issues, a few digestive healing things as well. And within that, it unlocked the pathway to sustainable weight loss finally.
Now you are an accredited certified counselor now, practicing a very specific type of emotional therapy that helps people make sense of their stories. What's the name of the therapy?
So I have a master's in counseling, and I majored in a modality called narrative therapy.
Narrative therapy. And you use this work for emotional healing work with our clients. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. And okay. So, and I just want to start with Joe also. And so Joe, going back three or 4 years ago, you came to our first Omega in 2014, and you were as that picture that I just said, which I'll just put on the screen again, because it's just so unbelievable, the difference. So you were there. That was you back in 2014, and I remember you could barely stand when you get out of the car, back problems, all kinds of things. What happened? How did you achieve this amazing success?
Well, I have to tell you, what's interesting is that picture that was taken was actually several months into my journey. So it was even worse than that. And the previous picture, the second picture, is actually almost a year old now. So there's been even more progress. There came a point in time where my life was in the balance. I didn't know if I was going to live or die. And quite frankly, prior to Omega, you had met Tiffany, and Tiffany had it in her heart to help me. And she reached out to me.
She reached out. You know, it was amazing too. I remember that. Tiffany said, you know, I'm feeling your brother. I just want to connect with him. Can you introduce me to him? I thought that was amazing. And I said, sure, why not? And I remember you were in a really, really tough spot back then.
I was in my mind, I used to have a number in my head that from 1 to 100. And before I tell you what the scale was, I'll tell you what the numbers usually were. The numbers usually range from 0.5 of 1% to maybe 0.7 of 1%. And that scale was, what chance do I have of living through this?
Yeah.
I was literally hopeless. And Tiffany found it in her heart, started working with me.
Yeah.
And she was using her narrative therapy before I even knew what the term was.
Yeah.
And she was using her experience with the Gabriel Method. And I must tell you that both of you were already an inspiration to me because, Johnny, first of all, you showed me what was possible because I witnessed your journey. I'm one of the few people that had the honor of witnessing in real time before John Gabriel even existed.
Yeah.
And I had seen Tiffany's results, and they were very moving. But Tiffany would take me from a position of just self-deprecation, fear, hopelessness, and she'd find a gentle way to show me compassion that I didn't even know what she was doing. But I would leave the conversation thinking, wow, you know, I'm seeing myself a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And in time, that compassion, along with the principles of the Gabriel Method, which I feel really strongly saved my life, really started yielding results. And those results have been ongoing, sustainable, unstopping for years.
Well, that's the thing. The results are unbelievable. And at this point, Joe, you are an inspiration to me because even though you don't look it, you're actually 3 years older than me. And I often think, you know, sometimes I feel old, you know, I feel like I don't know if can I still stay in shape as I'm older? And I said, look at Joey, you know, he lost over 200 pounds when he was older than I am right now. And I think, wow, you know, you're like an inspiration for me about what's possible. And you're right, that picture is a year older. And you sent me a picture recently when you were flexing, which I'd love to show, which you look like a bodybuilder.
You can show it if you want.
I don't know where it is. Next time, the next conversation, maybe we'll do it.
Here, hold on. I have one right here. No, but you know, but I think that there was tremendous power for me in witnessing not only what you were able to achieve through your principles, but the way your body was able to, you know, to achieve it.
Okay.
And I think if there's one message for me that I would really hope would reach someone out there who just doesn't think it's possible, is if there was a person who the chances were really, really slim of ever recovering. You know, at Omega, I talk a little bit about my situation when things started. I was that person.
Yeah.
And you, Johnny, were the ultimate, you know, inspiration. And you, Tiffany, were, you know, literally the one that really reached out of, you know, and grabbed me out of the darkness and pulled me back to life. And, you know, witnessing those journeys is very powerful because you can see that it's possible to happen, and you can see that it's possible for it to happen for somebody who's really in a situation that may even be worse than a person is in. And that's powerful stuff.
And I would say your situation was worse. You were older than me, heavier than me, and you were smoking. And all of those things, your situation was a worse situation. And what your transformation is just unbelievable. And Tiffany,
I'm hoping,
go ahead. Joey, sorry.
I'm so sorry. The connection, I'm new to this. I'm hoping that there's somebody out there who's watching, who's just really, you know, they're afraid to start. They've been down this road. It seems hopeless. It seems like, oh, is this just another thing that it's going to, you know, that's not going to work. I just hope and pray that if they can see me and see you, that it's proof that people in dire circumstances can heal in a way that is just incomprehensible. Yeah. And the journey can be enjoyable every step along the way. If it's structured in such a way that it's doable and it works with your body and you get to enjoy each step of the way. And it's been a pleasure. I mean, you never heard me say, I got to get down another 50 pounds. It was just very enjoyable every step.
And you weren't counting calories. You weren't restricting. You were following basically the Gabriel Method principles of healing your digestion. I know that was a big one for you, and adding healthier foods. Yeah.
Adding healthier foods, concentrating on a sustainable journey. I must tell you that every time, you know, we're human, I never really told myself I couldn't eat certain things, but there were certain things that if I ate them, I'd say to myself, you know, this is something that is going to adversely affect your system and you have to deal with it. The way I would deal with it, you taught me. I would force in really good raw foods. I would never restrict anything. I would do the counterintuitive thing, which was actually to force myself to eat good foods, and then my body would take over. And And that's kind of neat because it's so counterintuitive to say to yourself, I got to eat this in order to lose weight.
It's really counter, but it still works for me today. Like sometimes I'm exhausted, especially when you're exhausted and you're tired, you start craving the wrong foods. I'll have spirulina, I'll have super greens, I'll have a salad, and everything changes. Maybe I'll crave those foods, maybe I won't, but it's not a big deal. And I also love the way you say sometimes you go, I'm invoking the Gabriel Method, you can eat whatever you want clause today.
Yeah, that's my favorite. That's like my way of pardoning myself.
That's so good. So good. So Tiffany, you healed yourself miraculously while being the sole mother of five kids all under the age of 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have healed my brother miraculously. You're now healing your mother, and you're working with our clients as a Gabriel Method coach, and you're healing them too. So it's just really amazing and you're also an amazing artist. Show everybody your artwork behind you there. So that's one of Tiffany's paintings.
One of my pieces.
Soul Speak art, really good stuff. So
such gorgeous stuff.
So before we go though, Tiffany, do you have anything you want to leave people that are listening right now that are maybe just starting on the journey or thinking what's the next step or what's the first step, or maybe needing a little inspiration, something you can give our clients?
Well, I think one of the keys to the journey that is true for me, I think it was true for Joey too. Marianne Williamson has a saying that goes something like, sometimes a miracle only requires the willingness to say, I'm willing to see this differently.
Yeah.
And you started that process for me when you offered me the idea that what if my body was working in service of my highest well-being? That changed the story completely, because all of a sudden, if my body was in service of my highest well-being, I was not fighting it anymore. Yeah. We were not at war with each other. Yeah. I had to befriend it and understand it in a new way and give it what it needed to let go of the weight and to be in peace.
So basically, this is a really important point. I'm getting like goosebumps just thinking about it. But basically what you're saying is you came to this point where you realized that your body was holding on to weight as a form of protection. Maybe it was misguided protection, but through all the stress and pain and challenges you were having in your life, your body was reacting to that with weight, thinking mistakenly, but thinking that it was protecting you somehow, because weight is a form of protection. So when you realized that your body was actually, in a misguided way, using the weight as a form of protection, it took away the antagonistic relationship that you had with your body. You had compassion and understanding, and you started working with your body to find another way to feel safe and other solutions, and the weight melted off. Is that fair to say?
It's absolutely
so
fair.
Powerful.
And it's a magical process when you can finally join together with your body and say, thank you. Now let me show you what else is possible.
Awesome.
You've done it. Joey's done it. I've done it. And everybody listening can do it too.
So powerful. Really powerful. So everyone that's listening, just a couple of things. Both Tiffany and Joe will be at my 5-day Omega retreat coming up August 5th to 10th. One thing I want to say about Omega is they do tend to sell out on the private rooms pretty quickly. They may have sold out already. I don't know. They have some other accommodations. But you can click the link below or above, depending on where you're watching. But you can click the link on this video to learn more about the Omega Retreat. If you want to join us, I'd love to see you there. We are filling up very quickly, though. But definitely check it out if you're interested. It's 5 days. It's a powerful retreat. You can hear what other people are saying. There's video of other people that joined us in other retreats. I love that experience. We all come together, Gabriel Method coaches, other experts, and it's such a powerful healing experience when we all come together. So Joey and Tiffany will be there. Tiffany is also a Gabriel Method coach with our Total Transformation Coaching Experience and our Ultimate Coaching Experience. You can also click the link that's on this video to learn more about working with Tiffany as a coach. You can work with her one-on-one as a coach, and it's a very powerful experience, as you can see with my brother, with her mother, and I can tell you with many of our clients, to have someone like this guiding you and holding your hand is invaluable, and I'm not exaggerating, invaluable experience. So cool. So thanks very much, guys. You are both amazing inspirations to me. Keep up the great work, and we'll speak to you real soon, and I'll speak to all of you real soon, and hopefully we'll get to see some of you at Omega. Otherwise, we'll talk real soon. Take care.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.